Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to deal with male avatar dev kits. Male avatar has a lot more issues. It's a little bit more difficult because you're not dealing with the standard skeleton. Yet in Second Life, the male and female share the same skeleton. It's just that the male skeleton bone positions are different, and they're different by way of basically a slider. In your avatar appearance editor, at the top of your appearance editor, you can switch between male and female. That's really a slider, and it just has two settings, either 0 or 100. So when you click on male, that's 100. When you click on female, that's 0. So it's basically, it is a slider, and it just moves the bone positions. The leg bones, it leaves all stay in their same positions. It's the upper torso where everything gets moved around. And so it gets a lot trickier to implement. The male avatar has been just, how can I put it? It's like twice as hard to deal with in MayaStar than the female avatar. But luckily we've got it through. So what I'm going to show you today is how to do it in MayaStar 5.1. MayaStar 5.2 is there's going to be a fix for the bento male avatar. Right now, if you have 5.1 or older, if you have, or older versions of MayaStar, only do this on the original male avatar. If you're using, and this is July 5th, 2017, I have not released MayaStar 5.2 yet. I'm still making sure that the male avatar is actually working properly, that there's no other little bugs that I've missed in the male bento avatar in MayaStar. So it may be a few days before I get the bento avatar done. So, okay, so I'm going to show you how to bring over SLink's male avatar. Right now, I don't know, I had to ask Shadeen to separate the hands from the rest of the body, or the mesh body, because I was having problems with it, importing it. And so she was kind enough to make me this file where she separated them. I'm going to suggest to her that she replace the male avatar that she's given in her dev kits with this file that she gave me, because it will make it so much easier. Okay, so and those who you can apply, if you have MayaStar, you can apply for a dev kit from SLink, and if you qualify, she will let you. She'll give you, a dev kit. I can't promise you just because you own MayaStar that she'll give you a dev kit. She has certain standards that people have to meet in order to get a dev kit from her. I have no control over that, so I can't promise you that just because you have MayaStar that you'll be able to get her dev kit. And if you do get her dev kit, I'm working on MayaStar files that I give to Shadeen that she can hand out to people who have MayaStar. So, but you have to qualify for her qualifications are to get the dev kit. So I can't promise you that you'll actually get it just because you own MayaStar. Okay, and I'm in the process of getting the male avatar into a MayaStar file. I did this once before, but that was before she had the hands, and now she's added the hands and stuff, and so I'm in the process of creating MayaStar files for her to distribute for those who own MayaStar with the hands as well. So I'm in that process right now, and so I figured, hey, I'm figuring this stuff out, getting it to work, might as well do a video so that if you're having similar problems, you'll know how to import, because I've done other videos showing how to import female avatars, but not a male avatar. So this is the video for how to import male avatars into MayaStar. Okay, most mesh body designers supply a Blender file. So this is why I'm showing you how to do it with Blender. Because not all of them supply a Maya file. but almost all of them, as far as I know, usually have a Blender file. Okay, so I'm first going to get rid of these extra windows over here. It's really easy. See these kind of slanted slash marks over there that look like grip things that you can grip. I guess, I don't know what you'd want to call them. Dog ears? I don't know what you want to call them. So you just move your cursor over it, hold down the left mouse button, drag it down. You see that arrow right here? Let go. I'm going to get rid of that and let go. Okay. Next thing I want to do, I want to do just the mesh body. And so I'm going to select just the mesh body. And then I'm going to go here to File. I am using MayaStar. This method only works for the MayaStar. I've tried to come up with a way of doing it with the default, and it's just a nightmare. So this method is for the MayaStar DAE exporter only. So in this video, highly recommend it. It's only like 25 or 30 bucks. Blender's free. Get the MayaStar. If you're making mesh clothing, it'll make your life a heck of a lot easier importing these dev kits. And this method, like I said, this method that I'm showing you right now is for the MayaStar DAE. So highly recommend getting MayaStar. It's an awesome program. Plugin. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to change any of the settings. I'm going to go to the desktop and I'm going to do SLink Male body for video. Okay. Ignore the warning sign. And now we can go over to Maya. Okay, now in Maya, you want to activate the Male original. MayaStar 5.1 and older, the Male bento is messed up so that you can't import the dev kit into it, because there was certain bugs and errors that I had messed up when creating the Male bento. I haven't released the 5.1 or 5.2 yet. I'm going to be doing that hopefully in the next couple of days. Okay, so I'm going to activate the Male original. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hide that Male body. I'm going to select that right clavicle, and you want to make sure that the scale is 1.96. That was the problem, along with another 1 or 2 scales in the arms with the bento Male that I have since fixed, but I'm checking the rest of the Male body to make sure everything else is fine. It's going to take me another day or two to go through it all to make sure everything is working as it should. But eventually I'll have the update out 5.2. So if this is like a year from now and there's 5.3, the 5.3 version will have the fix in it too. So anyway, so that's fine. So next thing I want to do is I want to import, and you can have stuff selected, doesn't matter. I'm going to import or not. I'm going to import the SLink Male body for video. Ignore the warning error that you saw down there. Ignore these. Close that. You can see it looks messed up. Okay, I'm going to turn on the X-ray. That's still fine. There's the chest bone. The M chest. That is not correct. There's 2 things wrong with this. One, it's in the wrong position, and along with the bones. This is actually the bind pose for the DAE file. But we also need this to be -10. This joint orientation needs to be -10. So there's a lot of problems with this. No problem at all. Easily fixed. So you just go here, go to the outliner. There's 2 ways. You want to make sure this is turned off. we need to delete the bind pose that was imported when we imported the DAE. So you can come up here and you go bind capital POSE, and then hold down the shift key and hit the number 8 on your keyboard. That gets you the asterisk sign. That's a wild card. And hit enter. There's the 2 bind poses. Okay, or you can just simply, after you, by default, this is turned on. And you can see there's not that much in the outliner. So, got to turn it off and you get a lot more in the outliner. So we got to go all the way down to the bottom and then scroll up till we just see, usually they're just above auto resize avatar mesh. And we're going to delete number 2. Sometimes they're down somewhere in between. But they're usually never above this spot right here. Okay, so I'm just going to delete it. And then I'm going to go to MayaStar, go to bind pose. Now if I didn't delete that, I undeleted it and it popped it down there. In MayaStar, it probably gives us an error. It gives us an error. Because when there's more than 2 bind poses, it doesn't know what to do. The Mel script for go to bind pose. So I'm going to delete that bind pose too, and then go to bind pose. Okay, and that looks okay. And now I'm going to go to click on the chest bone, which is now hard to see. It's right there. And now everything's fine. You got -10 there. And now let's look at the scale, though. Looks like it's messed up. See, it's 0.19. See, we got to fix that. So, let's see. So, let me try something. Let's go to, okay, so we're going to activate the Male Avatar Appearance Editor and click on Mesh Default. Mesh Default. Oh, that's because, duh. That's not the right one to be looking at. Okay, let's do this again. Just to kind of show. See, we want this to be 1.96. Okay, so we want to go, let's start a new file. MayaStar, activate Male Original. I'm going to hide the body. I'm going to import the SLink Male body. I'm going to ignore that. See, that's messed up there. So we're going to find a bind pose asterisk or shift 8. There's the 2. Got to make sure that's turned off. See, if you turn it on, they disappear. It's not displaying. It's only displaying the DAG objects only. So there's that. We're going to delete that. Now we can go to MayaStar, go to bind pose. Turn on the joint X-ray. See, that all looks correct. We go to the attribute editor. That says -10, which is correct. And now if we select that, that is correct as well. So, now your body is correct. And if we go to the MayaStar Male Avatar, if we click on Mesh Default, nothing should move. I'm going to turn on wireframe unshaded so that if we see anything move, which nothing moves, so that is correct. So now this body is correct and it is in the bind pose. Okay, now we should be able to, I'm going to import a mesh top that I made. Okay. This is just a quick, dirty mesh top. It's not very pretty. I don't like the collar, you know. But you can see it fits pretty snugly. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to rig. And real quick, I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay. So the easiest way to rig is to open up your outliner. Select the M pelvis. Move your mouse anywhere. Make sure it's not on anything, but just anywhere in here. Could be down here, could be up here, doesn't matter. Hold down your right mouse button and select hierarchy. That's going to select every bone in the skeleton. And you notice that hand bones did come in, but that's because Shadeen must have had hand bones in the skin cluster in Blender. That's okay. That's fine. In fact, why don't, just to be on the safe side, actually no, that's fine. Okay. So we're going to go M pelvis, hold down the shift key, or not shift key, right mouse button, not left mouse button, holding it down, and release once it's on top of select hierarchy. Selects all the bones. I'm going to hold down the shift key and very carefully select the mesh top, making sure I don't click down here but up here. There, so I just have the mesh top selected. Then in MayaStar, I'm going to go to Smooth Bind. I'm using these settings. Bind skin. And now, you'll notice it is rigged, but it's not, doesn't have the same weights. That's why it's messing up right here. So now we're going to copy over the weights. You know, click there, very carefully hold down the shift key and select the mesh top. I could have also have done this in the outliner. There's the mesh body. Hold down the control key. There's the mesh top. Got to select the body first and then your mesh clothing. And then in MayaStar, come down here for skin weight tools. Copy skin weights. And then just click copy using the default settings. Now when I rotate, it has the proper weighting. And I can come here, do the sizes. And nothing is ever 100% perfect. A lot of this has to do with there's more geometry, edges that make up the body than my mesh top. So under certain circumstances you'll get some poke through. Go to my body types, bodybuilder, swimmer, and cyclist. Okay, we want the mesh default. Okay, so you can see it's working fine. I'm going to come here to male walk, and everything's fine. Get a little poke through, but if you were using alphas, you wouldn't get any poke through at all. It's next to impossible unless you're using the same exact geometry as the mesh body, which Shadeen does not give out, understandably. She gives out her mesh body and her weights. She's just given the mesh body away. So she can't give you the exact mesh body. The only thing to get something that is exactly skin type that doesn't show any poke through is if she gives you the actual body itself with the weights. And yeah, mesh body designers are not going to do that. So you're always going to have to use alphas. Most likely, the tighter the fit, the more you're going to have to use mesh alphas. You know, but all mesh bodies come with HUDs to hide different parts of the body. The looser, excuse me, hold on. The looser the mesh clothing, the less you need to hide the actual mesh body, you know, for your customers. So, but as you can see, it did it really, really well. So, okay, so now that that's done, let me stop that, go to bind pose. Doesn't matter, you can export out in not bind pose, but I always do. Now I'm going to export this out, export selection. I'm going to do it to the desktop. Let's skip over Unlucky 13. I'm not really that superstitious, but why risk it? Okay, so now what I want to do, I'm going to start up another, let's see. I'm going to, start a brand new scene. Activate Male Original. This is how you can check to see if everything is fine. And I am going to hide the body, import desktop, DE, there's the mesh body. Okay. This is how you can tell. See how this is nice and smooth? If you got like this pointy thing sticking out, it would be bad. It would, oh, and I almost forgot. Okay. I'm going to show you something. Let's go to bind pose. Why isn't that going to bind pose? Oh, because it wasn't going to bind pose because it has that second bind pose too in there. Okay, MayaStar bind pose. There we go. Because we rigged it to all the bones when we selected all the bones, including the hand bones. That's why these hands came in when we imported it. It means these hand bones are in there. It has way over 110 bones. You can find out the bones. I'm going to clear this. So I have my mesh selected. MayaStar for earlier versions of Maya. Skin cluster bone names. Oh, that might actually be less than 110 bones. But there's all these hand bones and finger bones. We don't need that. So what you want to do is have your mesh selected. Go to, switch over to animation, go to skin, edit smooth skin, and remove unused influences. See, it removes 60 bones that we don't need. And now, if you go to MayaStar for earlier versions, skin cluster bone names, and now there's far fewer. So now if I go to File, Export Selection. Now this isn't really a problem. Like I said, we were underneath 110 bones most likely because we were using the original avatar. If we had done this with the bento avatar, we'd be at 159 bones, which definitely won't upload because there's 159 bones in the bento skeleton. And that would have been a real nightmare. So, so let's export selection. Let's redo that one. Let's start over again. New scene. Don't say MayaStar. Male original. Let's import the Now let's hide the male body. Oh, I'm surprised the hand still came in. Should no longer have. Earlier. Come on. And yeah, the finger bones aren't there. They must be contained in the DAE because that was the original skeleton that it was rigged to. So the bone information is somewhere in the DAE, but it doesn't count unless it's in the skin cluster. Okay, so now let's import the SLink Male body for video. And there's the SLink Male body for video. Remember that it imports with the bind pose. So there should be 3 bind poses here. Okay. Bind pose. You got 1, 2, and 3. So let's get rid of these 2. And now we can go in MayaStar, go to bind pose. Oh, everything's fine. And now, when we rotate, everything still looks fine. And let's go to X-ray. And you can see, whoops. Oh, come on. You can see it moves. Just fine. You don't get, if there was a problem, the mesh top here would be poking out like that. The elbow, or not elbow, shoulder, when you rotate the arm down. And that's a good thing to look at in, the preview window, where you can turn on the skin weights and see it. That's going to be the female avatar one, so got to be ready for that. The preview window is going to show you the female avatar skeleton, so your mesh is going to look a little messed up. It'll look like this. So it'll look a little pointy, I guess. No, it shouldn't look that. I noticed that doesn't. Never mind, because it doesn't look. You'll see a nice round shoulder. If you don't see a nice round shoulder, when the avatar is in that mode, in the preview window, in the uploader, you'll know that there's an issue. But you can see everything's fine. Let's do MayaStar male walk, and you see everything's fine. Bind pose, second light default, and this is the mesh. Mesh default is the neutral position. I think it's called neutral position. And let's see, it is appearance sliders. It is that one, SL neutral shape. This is the default shape. That's the shape you get when you create a brand new shape in Second Life, and you wear it and you switch it over to a male avatar. That's what that's going to be. Or if it's a female avatar, it's just the female. It's just some shape that when you create a brand new shape. This is the neutral shape. Bone settings. So if I click that, you'll notice. See, arms got shorter. That's the same as mesh default. See, Okay, arms longer, arms shorter. Arms longer. Arms shorter. So, okay. So, that's, you know, how to bring in a male avatar. It's not easy, but I figured it out. It took me like a week to figure this out. So hopefully this will help you guys out there if you're struggling with the male avatars. Yeah. So hopefully this will help you. That gap is just there because the mesh, I made the mesh that way. It's a little looser right there. Anyway, so awesome. So we'll see you in the next video and have a great day.